this computer. All right, it looks like we're recording. Yay. Oh my gosh. Technology could be great and it could just totally suck the life out of you too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Golly. Okay. All right. So my name is Heather Lyle, and I help business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders stay focused on their infinite potential while I reverse engineer their end result. What do I mean by that? Kind of like Google Map. You just type in your end destination, and I give you the step-by-step directions as to how you're going to get there and help you avoid costly mistakes along the way as well too. But today we're going to be talking about how leaders just like you get it done. And yes, I'm talking about the important things. And here's the deal. Important things can be anything from achieving those specific results that you have for your business or your organization and managing a busy family and personal life, but it can also mean how you achieve self-actualization as well too. In other words, what's your purpose? What's your vision for what you ultimately want to achieve in the world and what you want your life to look like? What's your highest potential in business and in life? The purpose of getting it done is simple. When you narrow in on what you do best and how you do it, you give yourself the freedom to focus on those high impact ideas that'll change the world. Listen, I know that we all have a million things on our to-do list right now, juggling busy schedules, cleaning up trees that have fallen down due to ice storms, right? Not to mention trying to stay engaged with your clients and your team and, trying to still get the work done. The struggle is real. The challenges can be difficult, but we can get it done with a little bit of vision, clarity, and a plan. So these 15-minute training sessions are designed to feature high-performing women who have developed their own strategies to get it all done and are working towards their higher purpose as well too. You'll learn not only their strategies that might help you in your business and in life, but you'll hear their stories of the journey that they're on to find their purpose and their higher calling as well. Either way, my hope is that you'll walk away with just a nugget of information and inspiration or learning something new. And let me tell you, the ladies that I've got on the lineup are just absolutely knock your socks off awesome. They're good friends, inspirational to me, and I know that you're going to enjoy it too. So let's get this kicked off. Today, we're here talking to Shannon Rich, CEO and president of the Oklahoma Hall of Fame and founder of the Leadherboard. So thank you so much, Shannon, for your time today. I know life is crazy in Oklahoma right now with all of the weather, and you're not even at your office or your home. You had to go somewhere else to find a connection point that would work. So Shannon, just give us a 30,000-foot description of who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Shannon Rich, the CEO of the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. As you mentioned, I've been there almost 16 years.
No. Oh my gosh.
And, we tell Oklahoma's story through its people. And I am a proud Oklahoman. I'm a fifth generation Oklahoman. And I have always been proud of our heritage and worked for a hotel company, John Q. Hammond's, and opened several hotels in Oklahoma, and always came across people outside of our state that felt like, they give you the head tilt, oh, you're from Oklahoma. Oh, and
yeah.
So, oh yeah. So I think we have a great state. And so that's always been a passion of mine. And so I think that's what makes Oklahoma different is our people. So to be a part of this organization has been a huge, exciting, I often joked, if I won the lottery, I'd do this gig for free because it is we are changing lives. We're inspiring generations of Oklahomans to be proud of our heritage. And so that's kind of my day gig, and I love what I do. And it's kind of a lot, right now it's 24/7 because we don't have power at the building and we're trying to figure all those things out. I'm a mom, I'm a bonus mom to an 8-year-old who changed my life when she came into my life when she was, 8 months old. And so we do it all. And as you mentioned, I found I a few years ago really was struggling with women and opportunity and things I get to see daily and all the people I get to work with. And I had this gnawing in my heart, and all the things came together, and the Leadherboard was born. So there you go.
There you go. Okay. So Shannon, you do a lot of things, right? Between day gig, that lights your heart on fire, as well as the founder of this new organization as well too. And like you said, you're the bonus mom and you've got all of the family responsibilities going on as well too. So what is your secret sauce? How do you get it all done? How do you manage your organization to keep focused on your goals?
I think I've listened to a few of the people that you've had on, and I think the reality is it's honestly in my profession, and just getting things done, I have to write it down. I have to, and maybe that's because I'm 50. I have an actual written day planner. People are like, where's your black book? Because I have to have this with me. And I do it a month in advance. Like I have a 90-day calendar. I have a 60-day calendar. And the closer in, it gets more and more detailed.
Yeah.
We're managing schedules from tumbling and cheer and volleyball. And just, you know, we travel the state with my profession. And then also this passion project of mine, the people that have come on board to help me do that. There's too many calendars. Oh, and then I'm married. So, you know, my husband has tennis tournament, all the things that he has. And then, there's just, you have to write it down and you have to communicate it. And so I think for me, you've said this, you and Todd do this. We sat down on the beginning of the week. This is my dog because there's other dogs here because so this is, we're landing at my brother. So this is to keep her from barking with all the other dogs. We have to sit down and talk about things, and we don't step over each other's calendar, and we kind of honor the things that are like, this is where I need you to be. And no, you don't have to come to this. If you don't want to come to this, we have to have those conversations regularly.
You know, I remember when you and I were talking just last week, and you had the whole crystal ball. I tell my kids, I don't have a crystal ball. If you want me to do something, if you need for me to be somewhere, you're going to have to articulate it because I'm busy. I've got a million things happening at one time. And, it's just, I think we as women sometimes tend to think that, if your spouse or, people that you work closely with that have known you for a long time, that they're just going to know what we want. And that is not the case. That is not the case.
It is not the case. And we joke about that. My husband he'll do about anything for me, but he is not going to anticipate that. And I think because women, we naturally try to anticipate. And I do that with even my associates, my coworkers, I try to anticipate what they need. And when it's not done back, I think it's almost like it's a frustration, but it's just not real. It's not real. And I can save everybody a lot of time in counseling. It's not real. Write it down. Tell people what you need. They'll do it if you just let them know.
Yeah, for sure. You just have to communicate. I mentioned this in the intro, but getting things done, productivity, and having a plan truly does allow, I feel, people the capacity to be able to get bigger things done in their life. When you're constantly chasing that ever-ending to-do list and putting out fires at the office, there's really not a lot of what I call mental cushion to be able to think about your vision and the big things that you want to achieve in the world. And Shannon, I can honestly tell you that I have always considered you to probably be one of the most influential and impactful women that I've ever had the opportunity to get to know. And I hope I don't cry. I cry about stuff every once in a while, but seriously, no lie, you are the type of woman that I aspire to be. I mean, I just look at you and it's like, you get it all done. And now you found this organization that's just going to impact women in such a big way. And you just have your crap together and you make things happen and you dream big. You're doing things that are bigger than yourself, just like you've done with Leadherboard. So talk to me about how you first came across this idea of Leadherboard and where you envision this organization to be in the future.
Well, first, thank you for all that you said. That makes me a little, you need to aim higher, but I definitely appreciate your words. That means a lot to me because I think you get it all done. That's all smoke and mirrors for me, but you've got 3 kids and you're running around and getting it done. So, I am in the room with a lot of powerful people and a lot of powerful men, and you know who they are, and they're great. And I think what I recognize over and over again is there just wasn't enough powerful women, and they're there, but they're not in the room. And why are they not in the room? And it's always been there at the back of my mind as why is that happening? And I felt fortunate because, maybe because I play golf, a lot of times I'm the only woman. And a lot of times whenever I will travel with my husband, I'll be in the spouses group, and it's of course it's a shopping trip, right? It's never I get to go to golf.
Yeah.
So there's some things that exist that are stereotypes, and they still exist today. And they're better than they maybe have been in the past, but they're not gone. And I think Mia, my little stepdaughter, is the light of my life. She's the best part of every day, and wanting her to have all of the opportunities and stumbles are what make us who we are, but I don't want her to have to jump hurdles that aren't hers to jump. And I think she got a dentist Barbie. I posted about it last week when we talked about it. I posted about really how Leadherboard was born. And I'm neurotic and I'm a planner, as we've talked about. So she got a dental Barbie and she loved it. And she was all excited and set up her little practice. And I went, how much is dental school going to cost us? She's 4. We have to make a plan. And that's what I did. And unfortunately, what I realized, the second article I hit on said that women dentists make half of what male dentists make. And I didn't understand that because I worked for a dentist in high school, and I thought, wait, those charges are regulated. Like like you
Yeah.
fill out a form, and how'd that work? And what it is that women don't value our chair time the same. Women dentists don't. They're afraid to charge as much as men,
Mhm.
and then men inherently the public doesn't trust women as much. And
Right.
so I just didn't understand that me would have to go to the same school, pay the same amount of money, and do all the
Mhm.
things, and she still wouldn't make as much. And then it just turned into this rabbit hole of the pay gap of
Yeah.
how much we make in every field, and only 24% of law firms have women partners, and all of the things that came through.
Wow.
And I just thought, what? I'm part of the problem. I can fix this. I need to start using more women. But then you go to websites and you can't find a woman, because obviously those associations that govern them, any agency, whether it's CPAs or whoever, they can't say this is our women CPAs. They have to take care of all their members. So to
Right.
try and find that resource, it didn't exist. And so how could I couldn't become part of the solution. So that's what Leaderboard is. When you go to a golf tournament, you want to know who's ahead, you want to know who the best is, they're on the leaderboard.
Yep.
And so I love golf. I want to be a golfer, and someday it never will happen. But I love to golf, and it resonated with me that because I do want men to use the website. I want men, and I think people are trying to do the right thing in diversity. They want to add women into the pool that they're interviewing, but it's hard to say. You know, my brother is a realist, commercial real estate. If he were to say, I want a woman. I need to add a woman to my team. Then people would go,
Yeah.
what? Why are you saying that? Or it just sounds a little different. So I just wanted to remove all of the stigma and all the uncomfortable moments of that, and just create a resource that allows women to be recognized,
Mhm.
and allows there to be a resource for people to find women that are the best in their field. Because
Yeah.
7% of women would rather go to their gynecologist and talk about themselves. That's
So
real.
true. It's
That's
true. It is true.
and so I'll talk to anybody instead of go to that visit. I'll talk to anybody in the elevator, but that's how we don't toot our own horn. And so this allows people to self-nominate if they want to nominate themselves to be the best in their community, and then we vet them, and then they're on the website, and then there's a vote, and then if they're the best, and they get recognized, and they can go to their firm, and the firm can tout that, hey, we've got one of the best in Oklahoma City, whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever the field of discipline is. And my goal with this is to I want to create the conversation about there is a pay gap, there is opportunity gap, which creates wealth gap. It creates all of these things.
Yep.
And then also I want to allow women to be celebrated for their work. I want to help them find the vehicle to talk about their success.
You mentioned something, it's men, I think, and not just men, but I think that people in general know, hey, Houston, we have a problem over here. They know it's an issue, but it's that how are they going to solve the problem? And, by getting creative and innovative by having something like this, the leaderboard, helps the how part, helps it solve the problem. Because again, I feel like so many of the time we know that there's a problem, but it's how do you go about doing it? How do you go about finding the solution to the problem?
Right. Yeah. And my CPA, I talked to him about it, I'm not saying you only have to use women, because I didn't stop using my CPA, but what he said to me was, I have 3 women in the C-suite, and one of them will replace me when I'm not partner. And to know that there's women that the opportunities are there, it's really about looking at the companies that you use. It's Person Power does a great job of saying, hey, if you want to get, these are the women-owned businesses that you should support.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as there are women that have opportunities in those organizations, that's what's important. And it doesn't mean that you have to not use your realtor or not use your dentist. It just means next time you have an opening for one of those services in your life and you need an attorney or you need an architect, make sure you're at least talking to a woman.
Right. No, I love that. I think so many women struggle with how they're going to balance, having that successful professional life, the needs of family, and having the opportunity to dream big as well too. I think it's important to talk about how we all have those struggles along the way as well. So tell me, what do you struggle with, and who or what is your inspiration and motivation?
I think I struggle at this age of wishing I had done some of these things sooner. And it's a tough battle. And I have a lot of 30-year-olds in my life that for some reason God's brought them to me, and I'm so grateful for them. And, they get frustrated at times. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have so much, keep doing what you're doing. And one of them kind of called me out, Lauren kind of called me out on it about, why aren't you doing what you're doing? You've been talking about this women's group. Why don't you do it? And I just kind of like take the mirror home. And so I think I had the privilege of speaking at commencement in 2019 at my university. And I did a lot of research before I did that. And I think the thing that really resonated is you really are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right?
So true.
the 5 people you hang out with the most are going to determine your behavior for the most part, because that's where you sow your seed. And I think some of the people that have been in my life in the last couple of years have held me accountable. And Mandy Briggs, my accountability coach, talk about what you do, is somebody that will say, take the mirror home tonight, Shannon. I mean, it's like, what stopped you from doing it this week? Or, we all have ambition and we all have good intentions, but this week, literally, I had 4 deadlines this week. There's no power in my house. There's no power in my museum. I can't get to my house. There are power lines. I did all of the things, right? Like, this is not even a normal crazy week. It's a crazy, crazy week. But, I'm giving myself some grace, and I'm carrying over. I was able to meet a couple of those deadlines. It's going to have to be okay to make it happen. But I think people encouraging you and holding you accountable has really been a kind of a secret sauce of mine. My husband's great, and he's, go in and shut the door and do what you got to do if you need some time. And for me, I need to run. I need to burn energy. And so he'll be like, do you need some time elliptical? Do you need to go work out? And so I'll take Mia and you go do that. And that hour is golden for me. And so,
accountability is such a big thing. And I think, again, so many people are afraid to really call people out. And I love it that you've got a young person, who can be like, okay, Shannon, here's the mirror. What do you see? It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror sometimes and just be really doggone honest about, okay, in order for me to do this, I'm going to have to put myself out there and make it happen,
Right.
Gosh. Anyway, okay, so if you could share one piece of advice with another female leader when it comes to the daily pressures of just performing and get it all done, what would that one piece of advice be?
The greater danger is not that our hopes are too high and we fail to reach them. It's that they are too low and we do. So that goes back to my thing that's from Michelangelo. I wish I had done so many things. I just think you got to do it. And you got to find the time. You got to communicate your needs. And you just do if your dream is to, become a realtor, or your dream is to, become an accountability coach, or to stay at home with your kids, whatever it is, figure out the path, write it down, make the path. If there's financial concessions that have to be made so you can stay at home, or financial concessions. I have a team of people that are helping me launch Leadherboard. I tried to do it myself for a long time in passing, and it was never going to happen. And so I've made some sacrifices financially to invest in a team that can make it happen. Mm-hmm. And you have to find the path to get what you want.
Yeah.
And the idea of balance is not real. It is. Something is going to give. Mia's mom is the city planner in Bentonville, and she's amazing. And so Mia has these strong women in her life. We don't get to do everything. We don't get to be everywhere. And so it's what we do when we're with her. And we can't beat each other up with that. We can't. And as women, we need to encourage each other and not find fault in each other. And like my friends lifting me up. Okay, what are you going to do? How can I help you do it? Because I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. That's real. That's a real conversation.
Absolutely. I think Rachel Hollis, I was listening to one of her podcasts, and she was talking about, sometimes you just have to get out there and go do the hard thing. And no one, and she made the comment like this, no one is there in the ring with you except for you. Everybody else, including our spouses who love us and our friends who adore us, they're not in the ring living our life. And so, that just really hit home with me. It's like, sometimes you just got to do the hard thing to put yourself out there to make something happen and not be afraid of what everybody else is going to think around you,
Yeah, I went to her conference in July last year, and that's when Leadherboard was copied. That's whenever within 30 days, I was at home. I have a map in my kitchen that's still there today of all of the United States that has all of the places we're going to launch and the vision of it. And
awesome.
Because it's going to happen. Everybody else has a cheap seat. Even if they love you, everybody else has a cheap seat, and everybody can tell you the 10 reasons why it shouldn't happen. And I could tell you 50 reasons why I didn't have time for it to happen. But I knew it would be one of those things I'd look back on and regret if I didn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shannon, thank you so much for your time. I know you've got other things going on, and a dog that probably needs to go out, and trees that need to be trimmed up as well too. But anyway, thank you so much. I so appreciate your time. And next week at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be talking with Carly Richardson with Shellback General Contracting. And she is the chief over there in the general contracting business, which is very largely male dominated. So I'll be very curious to hear her thoughts as well too when it comes to getting the big things done. So again, thank you, Shannon, so much. And until next time, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.